Hello everyone and welcome to your March Influence video. Well, at the time of writing, we've just passed through the budget, which took place on the 6th of March, delivered by the Chancellor Jeremy Hunt. Was this a good budget for business? Well, from the IoD's perspective, it was a fairly unremarkable one. There were some reasonable things within it. We welcome, for example, the extension of the recovery loan scheme, which may support additional lending to SMEs. And I think also the extension of full expensing to leasing will be useful for business, as often that's a way in which they get hold of new kit, new equipment to boost their productivity. But we don't actually know when that full expensing measure for leasing will come into place. The Chancellor just said when it is fiscally prudent to do so. So that was a bit disappointing. I think if you look at the budget more generally, there was nothing there in our estimation which really made a difference in terms of encouraging skills development. This is a huge issue for our members. They regularly cite skills shortages as being at the top of their list of problems they are facing. And there wasn't anything substantial about that. Now, I think that the 2p cut in employees' national insurance, combined with the previous two pence cut from the autumn statement, it may, as the government suggests, encourage more people back into the workforce, which will be helpful given that there are many hundreds of thousands of unfilled job vacancies in the economy at the moment. But apart from that, I think that a broad conclusion was that this wasn't really a budget for business. It was more a budget aimed at the electorate ahead of a forthcoming general election later in the year. And talking about the general election, I do hope that you have seen the IoD's Manifesto for Business, which we've just launched this week. And this is really our roadmap for a future government, whatever that government may be, in terms of political stripe, a roadmap of measures which they can adopt to really support business. Now, I think that the broad picture that we're trying to present is that business wants a policy framework from government which is stable, which is predictable, which is relatively light touch, and which is focused on the longer term. And we lay out a whole range of policy proposals across the key areas of priority for IoD members. So these are all about the growth and productivity of the UK economy. They're about skills shortages. They're about international trade, the net zero transition, how that can take place in a manageable way, and also about corporate governance, which is obviously a key issue for any director. And I hope you enjoy looking at this document and looking at the different proposals we've made. They're all very much based on what we know about IoD members' preferences from the regular policy voice surveys that we do. But if you're asking me perhaps to pull out a few of the headline measures, uh, you know, these would be as follows. One would be for a future government to have an industrial strategy, a meaningful industrial strategy put in place that provides a stable and a predictable framework for business investment, that really encourages the private sector to invest alongside government in areas of future competitive and strategic importance. Second big one for us is to create an independent skills shortage agency to assess current and future skills needs. Thirdly, use the corporation tax regime and the associated capital allowances regime to provide a financial incentive for companies to invest in both skill shortage areas and the achievement of net zero. Um, Another big proposal from us is in support of the Better Business campaign to reform directors' duties as currently stated in the Companies Act 2006, so that they really reflect the role that directors play in modern society. And then our final, I think, big takeaway is that we think that there should be director training prerequisites for directors about to take up their first role on the board of a major company, a public interest entity. Well, I hope you find these proposals interesting and useful, and I very much look forward to seeing you soon.